Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bottle Street Blues, our Dishonored game here on Restless Barbarian Gaming. I'm your game master, Aloysius, and I'm here with all of my lovely players this evening, who I will have introduce themselves one by one in a clockwise fashion, starting with Q.
Hey, everybody, I'm Q. I'll be playing Jimmy Stratton. Young pedicab driver, recently joined the Bottle Street Blues and the Bottle Street Gang, and is just sort of tagging along for the ride, I guess. I don't know.
You might be feeling blue about it. We don't know.
Wait to see how things go.
Hi, I'm Diver, and you may know me from such adventures as Dragon Age on this channel. If you don't know about those adventures, then you should give them a look. I'm playing Caleb Silver for our Dishonored game here. And Caleb, he doesn't have much to say. He lets his pro wrestling manager, Cersei, do most of the talking. She's been kind of the star of the show for our first episode. Hopefully, Caleb will get a little more presence on screen, apart from his overwhelming stench, which is ever present always, even before he enters the scene. So, with that introduction...
One can hope.
Yes, one can always hope. If that introduction, I will pass it along to our next player here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nenad. I'm playing Ryder, a young duelist trying to make a name for himself, who's also recently joined the Bottle Street Gang. And I'll pass along to Elizabeth.
Hello, I'm T. I am playing Yelizaveta Arkov, bad, bougie, sexy MD, here to just kind of contribute to a little bit of the chaos, literally, for this game's purpose. And have a good time.
And I guess I'm bringing up the rear as Kat, our friendly neighborhood courier, who apparently will need to figure out how to air out her carriage.
Might be a good idea.
Or just build, Caleb a little rack to stand on.
Yeah, if we give him a rack to stand on, maybe throw him in a bathtub. Anything that'll really help. But when last we left off, our little group were all called to the office of Slackjaw by his second in command, Jacob Glass, and were informed that they had a potential job, if it so interested them, of looking for a lost shipment for one Thalia Timsh. The group then went to go meet with Thalia, sort of see what her 2 cents on the matter were, and get a little more details. And it turns out that she had a shipment stolen by somebody. And specifically, it appears to be a statuette or idol of a whale or ambiguously whale-like creature. She was unclear about it. Yes, exactly. and she wasn't entirely sure who specifically took it, but she, her best guess pointed the gang to the Six Ways gang over in the Wyrmwood District is their first solid stepping stone in where to start looking for this statuette and what may have happened to it. And with that, we'll pick up pretty much right where we left off. Thalia had just informed all of you of her hypothesis as to who may have taken it, and you deduced generally where you would need to go in order to start looking for information on that.
Cool. On the way out, Jimmy's going to call out, "Hey, Circe," and flick her a coin. Nice negotiating.
It's like I have a little experience, but thank you. It's always nice to be appreciated.
So, do I know where the Six Ways gang hangs out, or?
You know that they are based out of the Wyrmwood District, and within which is sort of like in the southwestern part of the city. So it's a super dense. It's a super dense district. Lots of markets. Sort of a main thoroughfare sort of acts as like a hub for the district in general. And the Six Ways gang actually gets its name from Wyrmwood Way, which is sort of the six-way main thoroughfare through the district. You get basically anywhere you need to get to in the Wyrmwood District, you get to from Wyrmwood Way.
Okay.
Yes. You don't necessarily know specifically where they're like set up shop. You just know that the Wyrmwood District is where they operate out of.
Right. And the dock where the statue was stolen from, is that like on the edges of Wyrmwood or somewhere else?
No, that's elsewhere. That was like in the Distillery District.
Okay. Do we want to split up and poke around at the dock and see if anybody will spill the beans on what they saw, or do we just want to go start cracking heads in the Wyrmwood District?
I'm always down for cracking heads.
Out of character.
Yes.
We don't have a way to easily communicate with each other if we split up, correct?
No.
I would say no, not really.
And then, I'm sorry, I might have missed this because of the internet being a little spotty, but
Nope, you're good.
are the docks near Wyrmwood or in Wyrmwood? Or are they in a completely different place?
No, they're in like a totally different place.
Do we know like how long it would take to get from one to the other?
Let me see if I can get a. No.
Yeah, so if the docks are in the Distillery District, that's back where we started. That's our home district.
And if they're not too far away, I don't think that splitting up would necessarily.
I would say they're on the same side of the river, so that definitely helps for sure. And if some of you did want to stop, sort of like at the docks near the Distillery District, you could, because it would be on your way towards the Wyrmwood District anyway. So it's not like you would necessarily be going out of your way to do that if that's something you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Would we be able to like traverse that distance on foot, or would we have to drive between the two?
It'd probably be advisable to, take the rides back to, to at least the Distillery District, but it's not like necessarily like the furthest on foot if you wanted to. It would definitely take more time, but if you wanted to go that route, it's not like it would be a massive inconvenience to do so or anything.
Okay. I think Elizabeth is going to kind of turn back towards the group and say, well, if we want to split up, we could. However, if we find something important in one place that would be pertinent to what's happening in the other place, that might be a little tricky.
True. I gotta say, I'm not used to working in a large group,
Right.
so hadn't thought of that. That's a good point.
I mean, what do we find at the docks anyway? They're long gone by now.
You know, we just put the pressure on the people who work there, see if anybody saw anything, knows anything, got paid to look the other way.
Not to mention, normally, I would say most of the time, someone's going to leave some kind of hint of themselves behind, whether they want to or not.
Mm-hmm. And this
So
took
there's
place in our
potential.
territory. We can't really let that slide.
Maybe just a couple people to the docks, and then I don't think it's too far from Wyrmwood.
Probably not too far. And I'm slower anyway in the pedicab, so I can definitely stop at the docks and poke around and then catch up with you later in Wyrmwood, or try to.
Do we have like a split that we're thinking of? No,
I'll
no
go to
preference.
the docks. Anybody want to go to the docks? Who wants to go to the docks?
I don't
Wonderful,
mind.
airy, open cab. You just sit back.
Cersei
Caleb,
speaks
where are you
up.
going?
It'll only cost you a coin.
Cersei speaks up and she goes, I don't really care how y'all go about this. Just make sure he comes back alive. And then she more or less splits. And Caleb, when asked, if asked, will just nod in the affirmative to both options, like both ideas. He doesn't.
You want to go to the
care.
docks? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to go to Wyrmwood? Mm-hmm.
I want to go to both. Mhm.
Perhaps maybe more muscle will be needed in Wyrmwood. Maybe Caleb should go to Wyrmwood.
Yeah, that's enemy
She doesn't-
territory.
She wants to go to the opposite place. I'm so sorry.
She's like, I can only
Also
inhale
doesn't want
so
to
much
get caught
opium
in a
before
play
passing
cab.
out.
That close with Caleb, she does not. She can't. She can't do it. I'm so sorry.
Well, I'm going to Wyrmwood, so
Okay. Then it seems like
Right.
maybe Caitlin,
And-
Jimmy, and myself to the docks.
Okay. And if I Jimmy, remind me correctly, you're from the Downmarket district, right?
Originally born there, now live on the border between Downmarket and Distillery.
Okay. Cool.
Mostly work in both of them.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because where the distillery district borders the Downmarket district to the north. The Wyrmwood district borders it to like the southeast.
Ah, gotcha.
So so if that changes anything for you, you would at least be.
At least I know roughly where it is. Yeah.
Yes, and it is sort of like semi familiar of certain things in that area.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we have to go south from the financial district, cross the river,
Mhm.
and then either slip into Distillery or go on down into Wyrmwood.
Yes.
Caitlin Kat has the car,
Mhm.
and I have the pedicab. So we probably should split Jimmy and Kat if you guys want to ride down to Wyrmwood. Caleb and Ryder can ride with Kat.
Mhm. If that's okay with you, Kat.
With me?
Yeah.
Unless Kat really wants to go too.
Well, it depends. Like, I have a talent called Friends Everywhere that gives me some neutral contacts,
Okay.
along with being a courier. So, not sure if like that would help us in any way.
It certainly couldn't hurt.
Because I have 3 of them.
It's everywhere. You want an additional contract. Okay.
With being a courier, I get 2 as a default.
All right.
So,
All right. So yeah, you have neutral contacts you can potentially make use of. So reasonably, so, since you're a courier, you get around a lot of different places. Who do you think might be like a contact that might be helpful in this particular instance?
I'm thinking she may be friendly with like a really solid like dock worker who knows what ships are coming in. He may not be like quote unquote management, but he has been on the ships and has moved the cargo himself at
Okay.
one point or another.
Right, for sure, absolutely. It seems like Kat and Elizaveta are heading to the docks, and then Jimmy, Caleb, Ryder are going to Wyrmwood, by the sounds of it.
Could do it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thanks for the reminder, Funside. I also have some contacts, one of which is a black market dealer, Megan Bly, if that helps at all.
It couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
And that might actually be very helpful.
Forgot about that side of the sheet.
Yeah.
It certainly could not hurt. Where does Megan particularly operate out of?
Probably down market. I have a note here that
Right.
I have occasionally purchased supplies for the Mayfly from her.
All right, that would make sense.
Mayfly is in down market, so
All right, it makes sense to me.
yeah.
The area he's most familiar with, so
Yeah.
I think that's totally understandable. All right, so 2
Who
parties.
knows what her network encompasses?
Yeah, who knows? 2 parties head on out. We'll start with Kat and Elizaveta going to the docks of the Distillery District. When you get there, you see that there's still some sort of like cleanup going on. Like when you arrive, it like is very noticeable that there was, not just stolen property. There was like an attack of some kind that happened. And it seems that they're in the middle of cleaning up the aftermath of that right now. But sort of like as you approach and get closer, you see your contact, Joanne, sort of like moving some debris, sort of like lifting it up and clearing it out of the way, handing it off to some other people. Say, get this out of the way. We got more coming. When he sort of like turns and sees you and the unknown one-armed woman heading his direction. Cat.
She's just going to give him a grin and Joanne as she like spreads her arms wide. The hell, man?
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. And he sort of like gives you an awkward hug, like he was not expecting that. And he says, just cleaning up, this shit show.
What the hell happened?
Seems like someone attacked one of the ships after it docked the other night and started rummaging through a bunch of its cargo. Seemed like they were looking for something in particular, because a bunch of stuff wasn't taken. But yeah,
like rummage to make it look like they didn't know where something was, or like they knew where something was.
I mean, they could be either or. The way I interpreted it was that they knew it was on this ship. They just didn't know exactly where it was, so they were just tearing through cargo crates looking for it.
Shit.
So, what brings you down here?
Job. Looking for something that was stolen down here the other night.
All right. Well, I guess that tracks. Do you know what this thing is?
Yeah, not sure how much you want to know and get involved. May deal with another party in the city.
Well, I can't say that's entirely surprising. They fucking firebombed the shit out of this ship.
Yeah.
Is the ship able to be like boarded, or is it like it's done?
It can be boarded.
It's condemned.
Like-
Okay.
Yeah, like it's in rough shape, but you know, if they like cleaned it up, made a few repairs, it would still be seaworthy. But it has definitely been like through hell.
Okay. Then I was just gonna kind of be looking at this ship. Then take a look at Was it Joanne?
Joanne.
Joanne. You said they firebombed it and then boarded it and rummaged for something. Did anyone get into an altercation physically with whoever got on this ship?
I mean, there were, you know, I got here, you know, towards
Was it
the end of
manned
it.
at the time?
No, it was just docked for the night.
Okay.
You know, there were people, you know, patrolling the docks proper, but not, you know, specifically the ship. So when all this started, there were people who went to you know, there were people who like went to stop them. There was people who got in some pretty, you know, pretty rough shape, but no one was killed, thank the void.
Was there anyone here from that night who was on the premises but didn't sustain an injury in the altercation? Or at least
I mean,
not as
me,
bad
but
as some
like,
of the
but like,
others.
I mean, me, but like I said, I arrived pretty late towards the end after most of it had happened.
Where were you coming from, if you don't mind me asking?
I was on the opposite side of the docks, doing paperwork in the office. I only ran out after I heard a bunch of commotion going on and people heading over in the direction of this ship.
When he is saying that, you know, I was doing paperwork on the other side, that's why I wasn't here with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
if I study him, can I just know, like, if I roll for it, can
Yeah.
I take notice of, like, if his eyes start to travel when he's staring, like when
Sure.
we're making eye contact?
Sure. How would you like to study him?
When she was just kind of asking, was there an altercation on the ship? She was just looking at the ship. She had literally no interest in what was going on prior to speaking. Sorry. But when she specifically addresses him, oh, why weren't you here? She turns fully to him, and she is making full eye contact.
Okay.
Which I guess in
So
this case is she's staring at him with one eye.
okay. So perhaps study boldly, maybe.
Yeah, I would say boldly. That's
Okay.
fair. I would say that's extremely fair.
All right. Fair enough. And make me that roll.
Okay. So boldly is 4, and then study is 6. So that is roll. And then I get. Oh, 1 second. I think. Don't I get an extra die for study? Is that the library and inventor talent? I don't have the book open.
Inventor. So which talent? Librarian?
It's librarian.
Let's see. Inventor. Notes.
Not the talent. I was like, add 1d20 to study rolls.
Oh, it's for scholar, not inventor. Whenever you attempt to study, test, to research a subject, you may add an extra d20.
All the dice just need to be under?
Yes, they need to be.
This is so weird going back and forth between different games.
Yes.
Sorry.
I know,
Right.
it's totally fine. Yeah, it needs to be your total number. So in this case, 10 or lower.
Okay, then I only got 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay.
Now,
well,
what is you only create if you have a focus in something and you roll under that focus number, correct?
Yeah, if it's that focus number or lower, then you get a crit.
Okay.
If it applies, if that focus applies to what you're rolling for.
Yeah, I'm not
Or if
using
you roll a
I just
one.
want to make sure.
Or if or if you roll a 1.
Okay. Then yeah, it's just 2 successes.
Okay, that's still fine. You gain a momentum because that's more than what you needed. And you sort of like study him up and down, and he seems a little less put off by you than you would have expected. And also he doesn't seem to be giving any indication of, deceit or anything like that. He seems to be pretty straightforward with what he's telling you.
She'll just kind of nod. And then she'll look to Kat and say, Kat, do you think your friend would let us get on the ship? She doesn't ask John, but she does just ask this question.
Possibly. May help us find out who did it and maybe get him in a better spot. She'll kind of give him like adorable little puppy dog eyes.
And he sort of like looks at you and he just says, "You got 10 minutes and you owe me later."
Got it.
And then he sort of like goes back to directing people. But you got 10 minutes on this ship.
Is there a ladder, or I don't know how ships work? Is there something for us to climb on next to the dock platform?
The
Yeah,
little
there-
ramp.
Yeah, there's a ramp that leads onto the ship.
That thing. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Does it look safe to get on? Because this was firebombed to hell.
Yeah. The ramp itself is like made of metal.
Okay.
So it still looks plenty sturdy enough to be able to walk across onto the ship. And you've also seen like plenty of people sort of like getting on and off the ship, sort of like clearing stuff off, checking things out, and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's safe enough to walk across.
It's made of wood and metal, mostly wood.
It's mostly metal.
Okay. Cool. She will board the ship.
Cat will follow.
All right. So
I
you got
wish I
10
knew
minutes
ship
on this ship.
terminology.
So what you looking for?
Starting now.
Starting now. I got a timer going right now and everything.
I kind of have an idea of what I would like to look for. But is there anything you specifically would like to look into?
Cat would be wanting to look at the chaos of the ship and just kind of see if there's like any little bits that might have been left, like scrap of a coat, or something that might have fallen out of a pocket. Maybe,
All right.
see if
Then if you
Right.
look for, like, I guess, physical pieces of evidence, Elizaveta will look more into, like, is there any, I don't know, like, they said there was no fighting on the ship, right?
When you were talking with Joanne,
There wouldn't
it
be
seemed-
blood.
Yeah. It seems like most of the fighting was relegated to the docks themselves and not on the ship. Just based off of like
Okay.
the evidence.
I'll think of
but-
something else to look for while Kat looks like for
Okay.
that specifically then. Yeah.
All right. So, Kat, you're sort of like looking for like any like potential like remnants of like anybody who was here previously, sort of thing.
yeah, something that didn't seem like normal.
Okay. Make me a study carefully roll.
Okay. And it's 2 die, correct?
That is 2d20, yes.
Okay. Got a 13 and a 20, and my number was 9.
Okay. um,
I'm doing real well.
yeah. So as you're walking around, you are sort of like keeping an eye out, and you feel like under your boot this sort of like crunching sound, like as you step on something, and sort of like as you like lift your foot back up, you see that you stepped on something. Based off of like how you stepped on it, it felt fairly hollow when you stepped on it, but now it is a sort of like a fine powder that has been crushed under your boot.
She's just gonna stop and like curse under her breath.
Am I here? Well, I don't know that I'll be kind of going behind Kat, so I think she would head further in to allow Kat space to kind of look around.
Mm-hmm.
She
Okay,
does
you got
have
this.
a handkerchief, so she's just going to take it out and kind of scoop up what she can of the powder.
Okay. Sounds
seen-
good.
Mexico.
Hey, we had fun that day.
We did.
But-
Uh,
Yeah, so she saw Elizabetta with her own little concoction to combat Caleb. So maybe
can you create something and synthesize and figure out what the fuck this was?
and she's gonna carefully try and put it in her pocket.
Takes
Okay.
it out
Um,
later and it all blows away on the wind.
Okay.
Don't
Now,
put that out in the universe.
I was saying, now, do you tie it closed so it stays as secure as possible?
Yeah, she's going to try and like knot it up so it's secure.
Okay. You.
Someone should really invent some kind of little baggie that like
Yeah.
seals
Crazy.
shut.
Yeah, like a pouch. Crazy.
Like a zip,
Uh,
like a zipper
yeah.
and a lock.
So you take out your handkerchief and scoop up as much of this powder as you can, and then very gingerly tie it together, and then slowly and carefully stow it away for possibly later. And Elizabetta, you went further in, looking for anything in particular.
Okay, I'm guessing you switched to me. It froze for a second.
Yes, I switched to you.
Okay. Elizabetta's going to kind of. I'm assuming. I mean, it was transporting cargo, so she's gonna go down into what the cargo of the ship.
Sure.
Okay, awesome. She's gonna go there. They said someone obviously was rummaging around, and she's gonna see if there's any evidence left behind by the person who was rummaging around. Because most likely, once that firebombing happened, they realized they had a short amount of time.
Sure. Make me a. You also make me a study carefully roll.
You got it. Can do that. Okay, so that will be 11. Okay. Question.
Yes.
Quick question.
Yes.
I don't know if you'll let me do this, but might as well ask.
Okay.
So obviously, what was stolen was an occult item.
Yes.
The painting also gave off a little bit of an energy. Can she see if she can kind of feel any weird shit coming off of anything in like the cargo hold? To kind of figure out where exactly they were at to start off and then move from there. And if so, can I then use my Void Lord focus point?
Activate detective vision.
I would say if you're looking for anything specifically of that
trying to
nature,
finesse, I don't know.
then yes, I would allow it.
Oh no, it froze. Sorry, I froze again. What did you say? I apologize.
I would say if you're looking for anything specifically of that nature, then yes, I would allow it.
Let's go. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay. So, study carefully is 11. Roll 3d20, and then my void lore is a 3. So if anything is under 10. crit. Damn, does a 1 count as a double crit? No.
No, that's just a regular
If it's
crit.
under 3 and then it's a 1, okay. That's fine. So then I got 2 successes. 3 successes. Because I have a 1 and
Okay.
a 6.
All right. Well, you gain a momentum, and
Sexy.
sort of like as you're looking around, you see about typically what you would expect to see. You see various like broken boxes, wood splintered and broken all over the place. But sort of like as you're looking, you see sort of like by the stairs what looks like sort of like a white smear across the floor. And sort of like as you get closer to it, and sort of like touch it, it's still slightly wet to the touch. And you
To rub it together in her gloved fingers.
yeah and sort of like if you like give it a sniff,
Yeah, good sniff.
a good sniff, you discover that this sort of like white substance that's on the ground is what it smells like: ink.
It smells like ink.
Like ink.
Okay. Now, is white ink something that is typically available or even possible in this like world's time period? I feel like white ink in general is not very common.
Yes.
Common.
I would say you would know that white ink is only really found like among tattoo artists, essentially, for the most part.
Is it? And you said, is it a big smear or is it just a smear?
Yeah, it's like if someone took like a hand, essentially, or like a hand-sized object, and then basically just like it was pressed up against the ground and then just smeared across the ground.
Now, why the hell would they do that? Especially if they were in a rush. But I guess I'm also assuming that it was the person who did it. Is there like any? Is this just straight up white ink, or does this?
It looks
does this
like
feel weird.
I mean, it feels. I mean, just it being here feels strange,
Sure.
but it does. It's not necessarily something you feel in your core or anything like that. But it. You do get a sort of like vibe from it.
Cat. I should call for Cat. And then she'll walk up the stairs a little bit.
Okay.
Poke her head out. But if she does not see Cat, I think that she'll kind of what's the best thing to do? Not really a reason to do this, but we'll do it because it's fun. Elizabeth will just like shrug and scrape some of this white ink into a vial and just put a stopper on it and be like, okay, I don't know if this will come in handy, but I don't know.
All right, Elizaveta,
It's weird.
Yes, I would say Elizaveta, you come upstairs, holding a white vial, holding a vial with a with white ink in it, and you round the corner and you finish, and you see Kat sort of like finishing, scooping up what looks like some sort of white powder into her handkerchief, and then stowing it in her pocket.
What are you doing? Never mind. I found white ink that seems a little odd on the step down here. And I was wondering if you'd like to see it and, I don't know, make your own conclusion.
Sure, I can try.
But if you need a second with your powder.
Yeah, no, apparently...
She thinks it's drugs. She thinks you're doing drugs. Come out and say that. Like, white powder and handkerchief seems weird. Okay, each their own.
Yeah, sure. And she's just going to kind of look at it as she offhand asks, you wouldn't have access to a lab, would you?
Lab?
Like, if I know you were able to counteract Caleb, but any way to see what something might have been?
I don't know that I really have the materials to do that sort of work. I don't have access to an actual lab.
All right, never mind. And she'll like reach out a hand for the vial.
How? No, I'm not gonna ask that question. Never mind. Straight up ask a wild question and be like, and now for a completely wild change. This, I mean, the only thing I can think of white ink typically being used for is maybe tattoos. But this also just, this seems strange. And I just, I don't get so much a feeling from it, but this is wildly out of place to me.
Would that be like a careful and study roll?
Yeah, I can say you could study it carefully.
And can I add my streetwise to that?
Yeah.
Okay. That brings it up a little bit. $19 and $6, and my target was 12.
12. Okay, so one success. You are sort of like thinking on it, and you know, white ink isn't the most, like, even among tattoo artists, it's definitely not the most common it's not the most common color. A lot of
very well.
Yeah, a lot of you know, tattoos are, you know, mostly just black. Even just like having a little bit of color is seen as sort of like a bit of a luxury. So you know that like you don't necessarily know specifically like who might have this or like where it could have come from, but you know that whoever did have it had to have had some money.
Well, it looks like we're looking at someone a bit wealthy. Color isn't normal, and white really not normal.
Yes, I didn't see much else, but there's one other thing I'd like to look for. If I go back down into the hold, from where I started to like find like, okay, this is the area where they rummaged to find what they were looking for. Are there
Uh,
like any kind of shoe prints at all?
Any shoe prints?
Yeah.
I would say no.
Damn. And then I guess the last thing would be, can we just like take a look to see if there is any like snag of clothing? I don't know. Anything that was dropped?
I would say with like how you guys have combed this so far,
Probably not, yeah.
yeah, I would say you don't find anything like that.
Okay.
And
Are there
it's
tattoo
about
artists
it's
in
about
Wyrmwood?
I say it's about this time when Joanne sort of like appears at the top of the stairs and says, 10 minutes are up. You gotta get out of here.
Okay. I'll head up after Kat. Are there living in this place, do we know of it like any tattoo artists in Wyrmwood who might work with white ink? Or just tattoo artists, I guess, in Wyrmwood.
I'd say you don't necessarily know anything like any specifically offhand, but you know, okay, I'll say definitively, you know, Wyrmwood has a big occult scene, seeing as the Six Ways gangs are seemingly the, purveyors of, smuggling occult artifacts. And also, people into the occult also love tattoos.
That's so true.
These are two things you definitively know.
Yeah, and there might even be some steampunk goss there. Yeah, everything's coming together. Okay, cool.
On the way out, Kat's just going to kind of try and make it look natural, but she's going to alert Joanne. Be careful of how you walk. Six Ways may be back or have been here. Yeah. And she's hoping he catches, the meaning.
Yeah. And when you drop that name, he's like, fucking great. And he just walks back.
She's just gonna kind of give him a 2-finger salute.
All right. And while you guys head on out and then head off in that direction, we're going to transition from the gals to the guys. Yeah. Jimmy, you're pedaling away, making your way to the Down Market District to try and chat up your contact, Megan, the black market dealer.
Mm-hmm. Gotta pedal fast to keep that wind blowing.
Yeah. You're doing your best to stay upwind. Yeah.
So I understand that this is a smaller sort of carriage situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can fit like 2 people comfortably.
Yeah. So back. Caleb, he's totally like man spreading right now.
So it's Ryder, so it kind of just bumping into each other.
You got knee wars back there.
Yeah, I was gonna say just keep bashing each other's knees, trying to fight for space.
And he totally will. Just like.
Okay.
I can just see like Jimmy is pedaling like crazy, and 2 of us like having a slap fight from the back.
Yeah, and like Jimmy, you sort of like feel them like every time they start like budging at each other, you feel the carriage sort of just like shift slightly as you're pedaling.
Fishtailing.
Yeah, so it's a less than ideal ride down for all parties. Down to the Down Market District. For the ride. And Does she operate in like any part of the Down Market District specifically, or sort of just like wherever?
I did not think that far ahead.
Fair enough.
I'm lucky I got one sentence describing her.
All right, fair enough. So we'll say, she mostly operates out of Swingtown, which is, it's like, not the most civilized part of the Down Market District. There's like definitive gang activity there. So she kind of thrives in that environment, unless City Watch and that sort of thing, trying to constantly stick their noses into her business there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it conveniently borders the Wyrmwood District.
Yeah. All right. Just making a note. There we go. So I guess we'll walk in. You guys stay here. She doesn't know you. She gets a little nervous around strangers poking into her business, but I'll let her know that I have people out here. But
Caleb crosses his arms, unhappy.
Feel free to take a walk, take a leak. Won't take that long.
He puts his foot up.
All right, so pop in to her little back room shop.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Megan, you got a minute?
Jimmy, what brings you in this time?
Well, I know it's not your usual thing, but we're looking into a stolen statue that got lifted off the docks. Possibly the Six-Way gang, but we're not sure. And Bottle Street gang's got us looking into it.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
So, first off, fucking statues, really?
Yeah, I know you go for food and that kind of stuff, but you know people, you hear things.
I'll say, also, Six-Ways, really?
I know. I'm really hoping it's not them, but it's probably some sort of occult piece.
Well, you really like getting yourself into some deep shit, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I float on top.
All right. Well, I might know something. What are you willing to give me in exchange? Nothing in this world comes free. You know that.
I got a little bit of coin from some runs today. Favors as always. Free moving of your merchandise as usual.
All right. Free moving of merchandise for the next 2 weeks.
Sure. Can handle that.
Right.
As long as I'm peddling in this area.
Well, you better be.
I do most of my work here, so.
Well, then it sounds like we won't have an issue then.
Yeah, it always works great with us. When have I ever let you down? Nope. Don't answer that.
Yeah, you don't want me to answer that. But to answer your little inquiry, I know that a lot of, at least when Six-Ways does like to do business, they like to sort of like peddle their goods through this guy named Jacko. He runs an emporium down in Wyrmwood Way, off Mandragora Street.
Oh, I think I've heard of that place.
Yeah, it's pretty popular, but people know that he's, he's not part of Six Ways, but he gets along with them. But most people don't know that he peddles their goods.
Okay. That's a great lead. Yeah, 2 weeks. I'll definitely make sure I'm here. I'll check in every day.
All right. He's Jacko's a pretty good guy, pretty well-meaning. He's got a good heart, good spirit, but you go poking around, you better be careful.
Oh, I will. How do you get along with Jacko?
Well enough.
I guess
suppose.
the better question is it safer to mention your name or not mention your name?
I'd say I'd prefer that you not mention my name.
I will leave you out of it.
Not that I think it would cause too many issues, but better err on the side of caution. Don't want to ruin potential good business dealings.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. All right. You got anything you need me to transport? I'm heading into Wyrmwood.
Not this second, but maybe soon.
Okay. All right. I'll check in with you tomorrow.
I'll see you then.
All right. Later. All right. And then head back out and see if the guys are still hanging around the pedicab.
All right.
Or if it's
Are the guys still hanging around the pedicab?
Rather than walk around and see if he can spot any Six Ways gang members.
Oh, okay. Okay. Make me a I guess study swiftly roll.
Study swiftly. Okay, so that's a 8. Nope. 2 10s.
2 10s? Okay.
Oh, wait, so don't see anything.
Yeah, no, you're sort of like casually keeping an eye out. Your eyes keep shifting around. But the smell of Caleb's stench is just, it's really distracting. Yeah, your eyes are tearing up a little bit just being too close to him.
Great. All right, guys. I think I got a lead. Megan put me on to a guy named Jacko. You ever hear of the Emporium on Mandragora Street down in Wyrmwood? Apparently, he offloads stuff for Six Ways occasionally. He's one of their fences. So, good place to check.
Yeah.
Would we have heard about that if we worked in this area for a while?
If you've worked in this way, I'd say you would definitely have heard of like Jacko's Emporium. It's a pretty popular mainstay of the Wyrmwood District. It has various bits and bobs, sort of like hard to find things, little trinkets. So it's like pretty popular in the area. Not that a lot of people tend to go out of their way to go to the Wyrmwood District, but when they do, usually Jacko has something that people are looking for.
So Caleb will nod,
Mm-hmm. So we could hit him up first, or we could see if we can't figure out who the person in charge of acquisitions is. Hit it from either end.
Yeah.
I guess since we have a name, I'm thinking we start with Jacko.
I don't think so. I think he might be able to tell us where to go and who the person is.
Yeah.
He might actually have the item for all we know.
So Caleb works a lot with hand signals, and he's ready to squeeze Jacko for whatever.
Yeah. You're going to wring his neck?
Oh, yeah. And he
I'd
nods.
interrogate him then.
Yeah. Well, apparently I haven't met him, but Megan says he's a good guy, good heart, so we probably won't have to wring his neck.
He rolls his eyes.
Just a guy. He's not a six-way person per se. He just works with them. So,
He's a source of information, so Caleb doesn't care.
but if it comes to it, then yeah, you can lean on him as hard as you need to.
He makes this gesture. Just like
Yeah. All right, then let's get back on the road. It's going to be another 20 minutes to the Emporium. Nah, maybe 15. Traffic's not heavy today.
Caleb has sprawled across the seat, like he's just he's like the animal, right? You know, where like it's just taking up more and more of gradually over the course of time.
Okay, so I feel like important question.
Yeah.
Are his feet in Ryder's lap, or is his head in Ryder's lap at this point?
Not his head, but his feet. Yeah.
Okay.
Lifts the feet out, and Ryder's kind of trying to take his head out the side of the cat.
Yeah. Jimmy, you're definitely feeling a weight. Sort of like unbalancing towards the right
Don't
side.
make me
of
have to
the
pick up
head.
ballast. You guys, stay balanced back there. This is an old but sturdy bike, but still.
Caleb doesn't care.
Great. Jeez, I never thought I'd be wishing Cersei were here.
But since you're basically, right on the border of the Wyrmwood District, it does not take you a lot of time to get there at all. And, in the Wyrmwood District, pretty much, it's sort of like a rabbit warren of a district. And it does not take long before you sort of work your way through the streets, and once you are sort of like approaching Wyrmwood Way, you see what looks like a group of about 4 individuals sort of walk into the center, sort of blocking your path. And they're sort of like dressed in nice suits. It appears there's maybe like 3 men and one of them's a woman. The men are all wearing sort of like bowler hats. And then the woman has her hair pulled up in sort of like a tight top knot. And the sort of like I was about to say the main man. So I'll stick with the main man. He's this like tall, sort of like spindly looking guy, but he has he has a sort of like a dreadful presence about him. It's sort of this like spindly, wiry looking man. Very dapper with a like pristine curly mustache. And he sort of like walking up with what looks like sort of like a makeshift cane, sort of like a carved walking stick sort of deal, but like a little longer. And sort of just like rests it against the back of his neck as he's walking up to you, and says, "Yeah. Well, what you doing?"
I'm delivering a fare. Can you step out of the way so I can get past, please? Shouldn't be walking in the streets. Dangerous.
Yeah, I know. So, what's this fare? Where are you going?
Taking these lots over to Jacko's.
I thought you were just glaring at him.
And his eyebrow sort of like perks up a little bit. Jacko's? What, are you looking to get something fancy?
Oh no, don't care. I'm just here to pedal.
And then he sort of like walks around past you to Ryder and Caleb and says,
And when he moves to the side, I start pedaling away.
Yeah, and I was saying, as you start pedaling, like the other three, like merge onto like the center of the street, blocking your path. And yeah, and like as soon as you like stop again, he sort of like takes his walking stick and then sort of like presses it up against your chest. Says, "I'm trying to have a conversation here."
And I'm trying to get paid.
How
I
far is
don't
he?
know you. I don't want to know you. Step aside or I'll run you down.
Is he,
And then-
is he within sword range of me? Can I put my saber against his neck?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, we're just trying to pass.
And I'd say
It depends how he's standing, obviously.
yeah, he's like, I'd say he's like sort of between you and Jimmy at the moment.
Okay,
So I'd say he'd be like within saber range if you want to try and do that.
So let's pull my saber and put it against his neck. I think he asked you to let us pass.
And he
Maybe
is
more
sort of like you pull the saber.
and-
You pull the saber out, and he looks to you and says, "You really want to do this? I'm just trying to have a conversation."
Well then, how about we let us pass and all the way back? If you're still here, we can have a nice chat.
Make me a I'd say talk boldly or forcefully, whichever you're feeling.
I think talk boldly, and I actually have a focus in intimidation.
Okay, that would certainly be helpful here.
Mhm.
So my talk boldly is 10 total. And I get a crit. So 2 successes.
2 successes.
And a 19. So
Yeah. Okay. No, 2 successes. He sort of like looks you up and down, saber to his throat, and he doesn't seem like super shaken or phased, but he like removes the stick from Jimmy's chest and steps away.
I would do the saber.
and sort of like gestures the other people to move out of Jimmy's way, and he goes back to like resting the stick against his neck, other arm sort of like resting on the stick, and he says, "Well, I guess I'll see you later then." And then he sort of
You
My non-existent hat to him.
and then he sort of ushers you on your way.
Right. Not if we see you first. He's still young enough to act childish sometimes. All right, pedal on then. Now, they're pretty fancy dressed. Does that seem normal for the area? Are the Six Ways known to be fancy dress, or
you'd say that that's pretty typical dress for the Six Ways gang. Not necessarily the Wyrmwood District. They still, I'd say they if I had to describe how they dress in the Wyrmwood District, I would say they dress like shabby chic, I suppose. But like these guys are like genuinely like well dressed, which is fairly common for the Six Ways gang itself.
Okay. All right. So I guess, probably would know who we were dealing with.
Yes, you can make a logical assumption,
Okay.
but they let you pass.
Then let's pass. We get on by.
And you pedal on down to Wyrmwood Way proper. And once you get to Mandragora Street, pretty much right there, you see a sign for Jacko's Emporium.
All right. I would like to. Is there a an alleyway to the side or something where I can park and be just sort of off the street?
Not really. It's at least not like here, because the roads themselves are essentially just like slightly large alleyways.
Gotcha.
So,
All right. Well, we'll park it, and they're just gonna. I'm just concerned that they're gonna have the word out. Keep an eye out, a bolo. So, so they're gonna know where we're at and that we're going in. So,
Well, they wouldn't really be able to get the word out faster than we got here.
but by the time we come out,
That's true.
is what I'm thinking of. So be on the lookout when we come back out. But other than that, I guess let's head in.
all right, you head on in, and you walk in, and it's sort of like a very well kept antique shop. There's it's sort of like how the layout is set up. You walk in, and there's like a long sort of like walkway that leads off to like several sort of like sectioned off areas, and then like a room in the back, and also what appears to be sort of like stairs that like go up, and then off to the side, like to the right of the entryway, there's a doorway that looks like it heads off into another room, and then to the left is the sort of the counter, and at the counter is a fairly large bearded strong man looking fellow, and he sees the three of you enter. I'm assuming all three of you go in.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees the three of you and says, "Oh, new faces. Welcome to Jacko's. I'm John Bennett. You can call me Jacko. Good to meet you."
Thanks, Jacko. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Ryder, and this is Caleb.
And he sort of like extends a hand to like shake all of your hands.
Check it out.
Caleb squeezes after.
I would say you squeeze, and Jacko, he's got a fucking firm grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're both like
Yeah, you're
squeezing
both
pretty
just
hard.
like
Yeah.
It's probably the manliest handshake you've had.
Yes,
in a while.
exactly. Yeah.
And he says, "So, what can I do for you? Looking for anything? Just perusing?"
Mostly just perusing, but word on the street is that you're the man to go to for more delicate items.
Are there
I
any?
guess-
Are there? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
but
go
are
on.
there
Go
any
ahead.
items that look like the item we're looking for that resemble it a little bit?
Sort of like at a glance.
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
like-
This is
I was
like
like
a
at
whole-
I was like at a glance, make me a study swiftly roll.
So, as before is becoming a trend, I got a 1 and also a 17. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, you gain a momentum.
Hmm.
And you sort of like quickly look around in like the immediate vicinity. It's a bit difficult to like make out anything like super far into the shop itself, and you definitely can't make out anything that's in sort of like the adjoining room or what may
Right,
be
right.
upstairs. But in the immediate area, you're not seeing anything that brings to mind sort of the description that you were given for the object.
Nothing even similar.
No, like there are a couple like statuettes here and there, but they're not like they're not like made of black stone. They definitively do not look whale-esque at all.
Yep.
Um,
So what you'll
Well,
notice is that Caleb is just kind of like looking around, but not really doing anything more than that.
all right. And Jacko will say, I guess that depends on what you mean by delicate. Can you help me out a little more?
Yeah. I kind of like glance back at the other guys. I was like, I don't know. Help me out here, Jacko. How do you ask for the illicit goods? The stuff that you sell for the six-way gang.
And he's like, actually, make me a make me a talk boldly roll.
All right.
Can I assist? Can I assist?
You can assist. You can roll me
Yeah.
one die to assist
I'll let you
him.
go first.
Oh, no, I'm not helping.
Okay.
All right. So you said talk boldly. That's
Such much. Say no more.
Talk
Target
boldly.
number 10. A 3 and a 5. 2 successes.
All right. He says, it's pretty brave of you to just bring it up like that.
Well, we're the only ones here, and I'm new to this, so.
And all right. I guess can you give me something specific to work with? See if I even have it
Yeah, well,
or anything like it.
it's a newly stolen.
Caleb
item.
pulls out
Uh-huh.
basically an illustration of what we understand to be the object to the best of our knowledge, and just like
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
slaps it down, basically,
Vaguely
like
whale-like statue that
Yeah,
probably
like
has some sort of
points to it right there. Yeah.
some
And
sort of, occult significance.
and
Would
he
have been stolen yesterday.
he picks it up and looks it over and probably looks at it for like maybe 2 or 3 seconds and before like just gently placing it down and says, I don't have it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was a long shot. It would have been stolen yesterday, so who knows how long it.
Grabs
I
the
don't know.
paper, folds it
You
back up.
wouldn't be able to happen to point us in the direction of the Six Ways, I don't know, guy in charge of acquisitions.
And he like chuckles and he says, you seem like a nice enough guy, but that's not really my place to just throw that information out there. And also, if they did steal this thing that you're looking for, do you really want to go poking the proverbial bear, looking for it?
Want to? No. But right now it's my job.
And sort of like as you as you're talking, you hear like a bell jingle at the door, and sort of like as the door opens, Jacko looks up and says, "Oh, Allie, Janice, how can I help you?" And sort of like look over, and you see the tall, lanky man who stopped you previously, and the one woman who was accompanying him as well. And we will transition back to the gals real quick.
What was it? It was Alice and
He said Allie and Janice.
Allie and Janice.
We're just listening
And-
to Virgil's in Cat's car.
Yeah. All right. So you two are now also on your way to the Wyrmwood District,
Mhm.
and is our driving, and eventually it gets to a point where, unlike the pedicab, which was still able to sort of like barely like squeeze through in an okay fashion, it gets to a point where Cat's rail car just will not fit the street, essentially, and you have to continue on foot.
Well, she's going to take anything that needs to be taken and put it on her person and start quickly walking.
Okay.
All right. You two are walking, and you guys are making your way down the street when you sort of like get to the like center of Wyrmwood Way, and you see this is sort of like walking down like from the center of Wyrmwood Way. You see this group of 4 people sort of like heading off down one street, and what appears to be sort of like the ringleader, I suppose, if you will. This tall, well-dressed, lanky man looks to the 2 other men of the group and says, "Go tell the boss we might have a bit of an issue." And the 2 of them head off, and the tall man and the woman who's with him end up continuing down the street and walk into what looks like a sort of like an antique shop of sorts. And parked outside the antique shop, you recognize Jimmy's pedicab.
Cat is definitely going to swear under her breath.
You said there were how many that the lanky guy sent off in the other direction?
He sent off 2 people in like the opposing direction, and then him and the one remaining person went into the antique shop.
Well, I don't have the strength to drop a man.
Me either. I have some free running and I can move well, but I'm more of a talker and a runner than a fighter.
I
Cat's
feel like
just gonna
two
look
things
over.
kinda need to well, I think one thing really needs to happen. We need to alert the other group.
Well,
but ideally, maybe stop that.
yeah. Cat's gonna look over and be like, "You wanna go get the big man?"
Which one?
Caleb.
Not really.
I do, and she'll just start moving.
Okay, so you start heading. So you start heading in the direction of the pedicab.
group.
Yep.
She'll say, "I'll try and keep a bar eye on the other group." Then.
Okay, so Yelizaveta, you stay sort of like in the center of Wyrmwood Way proper, as opposed to like going down the street.
She's planning to split from Kat. If Kat is going to go and get Caleb, she is not necessarily catching up to the 2 that went off, but she's trying to kind of like, just to not lose where they're going.
Mhm.
And to also kind of get a heads up for when they start heading back.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah, you center yourself sort of
No!
like in
no! Internet, please! What's going on? It's so rude.
So you
Trying to tail them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you are trying to tail them.
Yeah, so that she can kind of see, one, where they're going, and then two, kind of have a little bit of a head start when she sees when they're coming back, and maybe
Okay.
who all they're coming back with.
All right. You Okay. So make me a move, either
Scary.
carefully or cleverly. Roll.
I'll do careful, or I'll do cleverly. I think she's going to try and like hang to the shadows of some buildings or storefronts, kind of like deftly ducking in to different places when she feels like they might be kind of like looking around or stopping. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Just trying to stay hidden. So that would be. You said move and then clever. Okay, so that's gonna be a 9. Yes, a 9. We'll see what happens. I got 1 success.
One success. Okay.
Did I freeze again? No, I didn't freeze. I did freeze.
It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster down here. So you sort of like move as it you know, as keenly as possible through the street, keeping a bit of a distance from the other two, and sort of like as they near their destination, you sort of like duck off, sort of like next to one of the shops nearby, and you see that the two of them walk into a place called the Suicide Hall Tavern, and yeah, they go in, and it's a you stand there sort of like for a couple minutes, and they don't seem to be coming out, at least not yet.
Okay. She's gonna stay like some yards away, just kind of keeping an eye on where they went in.
Mhm.
Is it a really big building?
I wouldn't say it's really big. I'd say it's like modestly sized.
Okay. Does it look like behind the building?
I'd say it's sort of like an old-fashioned saloon.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. Would you say that like this saloon then is kind of like on an endpoint of a road leading away from the center? Is it called Wyrmwood Way? That center area? Or is this kind of like, no, there are more roads branching from where this building is?
It's kind of just like it kind of just continues off the one way.
Okay. So then she'll kind of hopefully see if somebody does come out. Okay. She'll just kind of keep an eye out for them, and also potentially for her group or scent-wise the group.
Okay. And Kat, you follow after the two individuals, and you see them walk into the Emporium, and there's sort of like a glass door that you're able to like look through, and you see the two people who just went in. You see a big like surly strong man of a man behind the counter, and your 3 other gang members sort of just hanging there.
She's probably going to try and whip in there looking like she just found the person who stole her purse or her like change purse, and she's going to point a finger at Caleb specifically.
Okay.
And she's just going to curse him out and yell at him like he stole from her, and she finally caught his ass.
All right. So Allie and Janice walk in, and then before either of them even get to respond to Jacko, Kat bursts in, pointing an accusatory finger at Caleb, calling him a thief.
Well, that explains why you were in such a hurry to get here.
And the tall, thin man turns his attention to you, Kat, and says, "This man stole from you."
Yes. And she's going to like walk right past them. She's gonna grab Caleb by whatever fabric she can and like dig in and start pulling him.
Kat, make me a talk cleverly roll.
Okay. God, nothing else would probably add in. Would stealth add into that?
I would say that would not apply for this
Sad.
specific situation. No.
1 and a 12, and I have to be at a 10.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. And the thin man, presumably Allie, sort of just sees this happen and just lets you yank him out of there. I was like, Ryder and Jimmy, you are now left with Allie, Janice, and Jacko. As Kat has only been able to salvage this for one of you.
I'm not sure I'll be able to keep the shock off my face.
Although Kat does want to, when she gets Caleb out, look like she's yelling at him ferociously if someone looks out. But she wants to tell him they're going for reinforcements.
And Caleb will, a look of recognition will dawn on his face, although he's still kind of confused. And it's just like, playing along.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm sorry, I didn't know that he would do that. I'm glad that this would find him.
Yeah.
We just had him on as a bodyguard.
Right. I guess I should go see if he's still going to need that ride back. Are you still coming?
And sort of like as you even make an attempt to start heading towards the exit, Allie sort of just like places his walking stick on the ground and sort of just like pseudo blocking your path, and he turns his attention to Jacko and says, "Jacko, would you mind telling me what they were looking for? These guys don't exactly strike me as upstanding folk. And they wouldn't even let me ask for the fee on their way in." And
I mean, don't you people have dogs? You have to like find the front overdressed troops to act as them?
and Jacko says, "Yeah, they were just looking for statuette. I didn't have it. Nothing I had. And he's like, and why would they think you have it? And he said, I get lots of things.
It's about on truck.
And then he turns his attention back to you, Jimmy and Ryder, and says, so, come in here, don't even let me ask for the fee to pass. Go to Jacko asking for some weird statue instead of some random knickknack. Who are you and what do you want?
We are from the Blue Street Gang, and we want the statue that you guys stole back.
And he and then he sort of like takes his walking stick and sort of like hikes it up like halfway so it's like shorter, and he sort of like gestures at Ryder and he's like, I like him.
Yeah, cat's out of the bag, I guess.
So you thought that we had this statue of yours?
We thought it was a distinct possibility, and we wanted to try to find out discreetly whether or not you do. Someone, not naming names, stole it yesterday from dock that's controlled by our gang. So we have we've been voluntold to find out what happened, who has it, and returned it for the person who owns it, or at least who paid for it to be shipped here. Possession being 9/10 and all that.
I see. Well then, I suppose that's actually reasonable enough. But I don't want you causing any trouble on our turf. I understand recompense needs to be paid if it has been, dished out unduly, but I don't need you causing a ruckus on our turf looking for something that we may or may not have. So, I think
Agreed.
we should get this squared away.
Agreed.
Now, provided you two aren't going to do any funny business,
Just here to ask questions.
I can take you to somebody who might know.
That'll be good.
Well, not might know. I can take you to someone who will definitively know.
Excellent.
I'll take you to eat 'em up, Jack.
Excellent.
And he sort of like puts his walking stick and sort of like slams it on the ground. And well, let's go then, I guess. Jacko, keep doing good work. Also, your payment's coming up. And he then heads on out the door.
And we'll follow, or at least we'll follow right behind.
All right. So as they're heading out, Caleb and Kat, where are you?
Good question.
He's following your lead, so
I think she would have pulled him a little bit away from the door, made it look like she was reaming him out, and maybe had him hand over like something small and inconsequential before, like, something like a shoelace or whatever, and
got some
kind of,
bones, some rat bones or something.
Yeah. Falling back into like an alleyway to kind of watch, just to see like what was happening.
All right.
and trying to look around and see if she can see Elizabetta.
All right.
Caleb is doing the same thing. He's suddenly deadly quiet. Just this is something he's very good at, which is like tracking and watching and things like that. So you see a shift in this character from the moments ago, like to just as silent as the grave.
All right. Then I will say, you can make me a move quietly roll.
Okay.
Are we both making that?
I would say you can both make them separately, or one of you can make the roll, and then one of you can assist that other person, whichever you prefer.
Would stealth come into this?
Stealth would certainly come into this.
Yes. It's a nice little pool. Oh.
Follow the scent of citrus and ginger.
I'm assisting, so
All right.
that's a 3 on my part, so I feel like that's a success.
Okay, that is certainly a success.
And I got a 10 and a 10, and my pool was a 14.
Okay, so that's 3
Nice.
successes.
14.
And I was saying also you gain a momentum.
Perfect.
We're up to what? 7 now?
I think it's
Sweet.
more.
Three
Right.
balls.
I believe it's 4 momentum is what you're up
Okay.
to.
Good number.
Dang, good job, y'all. Follow the scent of citrus, ginger, and rubbing alcohol.
All right. So as Jimmy and Ryder are led down the street toward the Suicide Hall Tavern, Caleb and Kat, you sort of like swiftly follow behind them, and eventually, as they sort of like reach the entrance, they you do end up sort of like convening with Elizabetta.
Do I see the first group coming and then are they in 2 separate groups or are they pretty close together?
They I'll let Q handle it. They were so the group had like the group with Allie, Janice, Ryder, and Jimmy all sort of like come up together, and not long after that, sort of like as they're reaching the entrance to the tavern, Kat and Caleb sort of like quietly maneuver to where you're stationed up.
Just so we
Okay.
know, he's not going to actually. Caleb will, even though. So first of all, he's concealed because the whole area smells terrible, and in this part of the city, and so it's not even really a thing that would set anybody off.
It definitely does not smell as nice as the
Right.
estate district. That's
Exactly,
for sure.
right, exactly. So he fits right in, literally here, and he is going to remain concealed as much as he possibly can. So there you go.
Well, as she sees whichever group gets to her first, she just kind of waits until they pass a little bit, and then she will kind of peel off when she sees. I mean, is Kat concealing herself?
She would have she's concealing herself, but she would have like slid up to like generally where you are stationed.
Okay,
up
so
at.
I can just fall in line with them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then Jimmy and Ryder are ushered into the Suicide Hall Tavern. Do the 3 of you follow? Do you sort of like linger outside and try to like I guess, do anything? Or do you sort of just stay out and wait and see what happens?
I
That's a
like your
great question.
I like your choice there. The word linger.
Yeah.
I think that that's a great description of what Caleb is going to do. Is linger.
Okay. He's gonna linger outside.
Yeah,
Many
but he's
things
going
look
to
good.
remain in, like, my understanding of the situation. Maybe somebody can clarify this for me, but I get the impression that we are going to the heart of this nasty business here at this particular place, and Caleb is a hunter, and he's by nature like wanting to get the drop on these guys. Like, one of his talents is like ambush. So it's one of those things where if this turns nasty, if this turns sideways, he's ready to dish out some damage. So he's kind of a plan B at this point. Caleb is not going to be much good in the hall, as a negotiator or anything like that. So he's kind of a backup plan here. If you need to get out and basically try to have somebody cover your ass, he's good at that. So unless you want to drag him in, which is always an option, but he is not going to. Right now, he's positioning himself to kind of cover the entrance type of thing. So,
All right. Kat, Yelizaveta, what do you two do?
Are there any tattoo artists around this place? Around this specific place? That's what they eat.
Dog with a bone.
They make me a study quickly.
It's not gonna. It has nothing to do. It's just someone spilled it, and I'm like, the ink. I'm sorry. Roll what?
A study quickly roll to see if there are quickly any tattoo shops in the immediate vicinity.
You want the two of a white dog.
Okay, so let's be.
Apparently, white ink is very hard to work with.
Please. I got one success.
One success. You look around. There are no tattoo shops in the immediate vicinity.
It eludes me. She mutters this to herself. It eludes me still. This will haunt me. Then she's just going to. So for the same. Well, as one of our characters is ready to get the drop on them if things go sideways, Elizabeth is like, I don't want to go in there because what if it goes sideways? What the fuck does that have to do with me? I'll be out here actually. So she will linger outside, not to help anybody if things go sideways, but to,
Right, fair
get the hell
enough.
on.
Fair enough. Do you sort of like spy in, or are you just like, I'm staying as far away from this place as possible?
Are there like guards or like, people obviously attached to this place kind of milling about the saloon itself?
Currently it does not appear so.
Because I kind of would just like to understand the outside layout of the building, case it as it were.
Yeah. So the outside is it looks to be like a 2-story building, sort of like an old saloon style. Although instead of the classic Western double doors, it's just a it's just a normal door. Looks like it's been sort of like broken and repaired a few times. There's sort of like an upper balcony area.
Sure, so any swinging back and forth is not an aesthetic choice. It just happened that way because it broke down.
Yes.
Okay.
And then it's got like a hanging sign that says Suicide Hall Tavern.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are there any windows on the sides of this building or in the back?
There are.
Are they big enough for people to fit through?
Potentially, yes.
And because I played a little bit, are there also like balcony? Like, is this a one floor saloon or is there?
No. There's a second floor, and there's like a balcony on like the front of the building.
Yeah, okay. What about like an escape? You know, like just like a balcony that has like a ladder down. Or is it just kind of like if you want to get down from the balcony, you're dropping? something?
It's kind of the latter, yeah.
Okay. All right. She'll go back to the front. She'll go back to the front. There were no doors in the back, right?
There was like a side door.
And then just the balcony door, whatever, on the
Yeah.
upper floor.
Yeah, there's like the front door, the side door, and then the balcony that looks like it can be accessed from the inside only.
Okay. She'll just go back to the front and she'll relay this information. Just like, I took a little cursory look around the building. Windows big enough to shimmy out of, but also some extra doors. Just in case we want to keep an eye on that in case things get a little heated.
Honestly, Kat is probably going to slip in
Love that for her.
either through the front or through one of those side entrances.
All right.
I
And
was here the whole time.
I was saying I'll just let you use your stealth roll from before. So, okay. So, do you have a preference as to like where you sneak in from, either the front door or the side door?
Like, can the side door be open from the outside?
Yes, it can.
Oh, the urge to be sneaky. Probably she'll go in through the front just to make it look like, you know, a normal person. If
Okay.
anything, she can play it off as, hey, big dude didn't have my shit.
Okay.
What the hell, guys?
All right. So, so you head on. So you're not like sneaking in. You're just like heading on in.
She wants to kind of slip in, kind of like at the tail end, trying not to be noticed, slipping in.
Okay. So you sort of like slip on in and if sort of like rewinding slightly just to keep things all in check. Ryder and Jimmy, you are brought in, and it definitely looks like a saloon on the inside.
Mhm.
So you're brought in, but the place is cleared out. And yeah. So Allie points to one of the round empty tables and says, "You two can take a seat. Jack will be with you soon."
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is resonant with how empty it is in here currently. And so the two of you take a seat. It looks like Allie and Janice sort of like head off towards the back, sort of like slightly out of sight. And Kat, you sort of like sneak in. You notice, sort of like after you sneak in, you just see Ryder and Jimmy in a massive empty room, sitting at a table by themselves.
She's slinking towards in the shadows and keeping an ear out.
Okay. So you're sort of like, skirting around to the edges, remaining unseen.
Do we see her, or is she? Do we see her, or is she successfully enough to?
Make me a study swiftly roll to see if you see Cat in the shadows.
I'll try that. 8.
Nope. Wait, actually, I don't do that. 8 as well.
She is the knight.
I thought I saw something.
All right, so Elizaveta, did you want to go in, or do you remain outside?
Oh boy. Yeah. I'll head in.
Okay.
I'll head in.
All right. So you head on in, and you see Jimmy and Ryder sitting at a table by themselves in an empty establishment, and Cat is nowhere to be seen.
Mhm.
Can I look for Cat?
Make me a study swiftly roll.
You got it.
Well, she at least knows the cat isn't here, so.
Well, I got 3 successes, actually, because I got a 3, 6, and a 2.
Okay, well that's what she rolled, so I'd say you do get to notice
Hey,
Cat.
2 times 3 equals 6.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You sort of like see her huddled up in the dark corner, sort of just studying the surroundings and waiting to see what might happen.
Okay. Elizabeth's gonna just walk up and sit next to Ryder and Jimmy.
All right, Ryder, Jimmy, Elizaveta appears basically out of nowhere.
Right?
Who's out the cat?
I don't know whether or not to pretend I don't know you.
Elizabeth goes, so what's the information that we have so far? What are we doing here?
Well, before we do that, now would be a good time to use City of Whispers to find out what rumors abound about this Eat 'em Up Jack guy.
Yeah.
Since we have the momentum, I'll spend 2 to do that.
Fair enough. A solid thing to do. So you would know that Eat 'em Up Jack is less of like a nickname and more of a title. There's been more than one Eat 'em Up Jack. It's like a mantle that passes from gang leader to gang leader.
Mm-hmm.
And the current Eat 'em Up Jack, he sort of like took control a few years ago, and there's not like a ton known about like his background. He seems to like keep most of that as hush hush as possible, but he's cunning when necessary, ruthless as necessary, but tries to carry himself like a cordial gentleman, unless the need arises otherwise.
Okay, and this is the guy in charge of the.
This is the guy in charge.
Okay, so I should have been a little bit more shaken by the.
Yes, this is the guy in charge of the whole thing.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so then, when Yelly sits down, I'd be like, "Apparently, we're gonna have a meeting with the Eat 'em Up Jack, the head of the gang. He'll know whether or not they were the ones who stole the thing, and I'm kind of hoping it's not."
And they're not going to kill you. They brought you to
They
where
could try.
I mean, it didn't come out and say they're going to try, but
But it's a possibility, yes?
I don't see why they would go through the trouble of meeting with us if that's the plan. But if we should step the wrong way, quite possibly.
You'd be surprised what poor people do.
All right. And sort of like as you're discussing amongst yourselves, you hear the clamoring of footsteps as someone begins to walk down the sort of like spiral staircase that's at the end, and you see sort of like as he's descending, he just says, "You wish to speak with me?" And as he finishes descending the staircase, he you see a dark-skinned, well-dressed man in a bowler hat. What looks like he has like a pocket square, and sort of like adorned lapels, and an extremely well-groomed beard, and sort of like striking amber eyes, and he sits down and says, "Let's talk then."
Yeah.
And
whenever he asks, "You wish to see me?" I'm going to stand up and be like, "Oh yes, thank you for meeting with us, sir." You know, and sit down after. You know, let him sit down first.
And Elizaveta, it takes you a moment, but you actually recognize this person.
Oh,
and
Dad?
It's been a few years, but there's no mistaking it. You are looking at the well-dressed and well-groomed face of Mikhail, your older brother.
What the fuck?
And that's where we'll end it tonight.
Oh yeah.
What? Okay.
I'm so glad I
muting
have
myself 'cause
front
I'm
row
screaming.
seats to this family drama.
And that's where we leave it tonight.
Amazing. I'm so glad that she went in after all. Like there's like this is
Breathing when you were like, Elizabeth, you know this person. I was like, what the hell are you talking about right now? Oh,
Nice.
okay. I'm gonna shut up.
Well, thank you,
I'm gonna just
everybody.
hold it inside.
I hope she has like a pet name for him or something. Like you know, like and calls him out on it.
Puddles.
Yeah. Or
His
cuddle.
nickname-
Yeah.
His nickname's
Puddles.
Alicia. That's what like she and her parents called.
Nice.
Amazing beat. I love it. I love that we're dropping.
And
like,
now I'm
we're
gonna-
leaving it right there.
For the next.
Now momentum isn't carried over between sessions, right?
Mm-mm,
Yeah.
Okay.
no.
So it's really a use it or
Alright.
lose it type of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're incentivized to use it when
Yeah.
you're able to.
Do your void points expire at the end of a session?
To my knowledge, no, but let me look at that.
Because my thing allows me to have a void point at the beginning of every session.
Right.
And
I
she's
think
gone.
I think every
She's-
oh,
She's gone.
Yeah, I thought we always started with one.
I think you start with
Everyone.
one. Yeah. Everybody gets that. That's how I understand it.
Yeah, you get one at the start of each session, and then there are a couple of other ways.
There's a couple
Okay.
other ways, like if you have chaos or whatever, sometimes that can affect it, or I think so. So
back?
she's back.
They sent me to the Shadow Realm. That's crazy.
Apparently so.
But because
So you get one at the start of each session. I think it's a
of
consensus.
each session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody
And it
starts.
So
everybody
then,
starts
do I
with-
just keep those?
No,
Or-
I think. I don't know if you accumulate those or
Yeah,
not.
we're gonna have to figure that out.
We'll figure that out
Yeah.
Yeah.
between sessions.
Okay. Because I was like, because then I think I would have 4 again.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not sure
I
by the
got one
wording.
for the-
Yeah. It says you gain one void point at the start of each session, so I don't know if that means that you can rack them up if you don't spend them. to the
Right.
maximum of 3.
Because your max that you can because your void point, your what? I don't know. It says like
I'll
your
read
void
more-
point
we'll
also
We'll look
corresponds
into it.
to
We'll look
your-
into it. We'll figure it
Figure it
out.
out.
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Awesome. All right, wrap up stuff then. Do we have anything to talk about?
I don't know. Do we have anything to talk about? Anybody want to shout anything out?
You guys finished up Dragon Age for the season,
We
right?
did finish up Dragon
We
Age for the
did,
season.
yes.
It was certainly a
Oh.
finale to remember.
Mhm.
I'm still traumatized. So go
I
back
killed Diver. I killed Diver's
did.
character.
Yes, you did.
in front of
yes.
my salad.
Right.
I kind of
Yeah.
heard about that. Yeah. Awful. So spoilers.
Spoilers.
Aiden Kincaid
I guess-
dies.
I would say
Aiden
I
Kincaid
guarantee
dies in the end.
I guarantee you'll
Yeah.
never see how it happens
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
But
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So then I guess the only thing is we'll be back next Wednesday for another episode of this.
indeed.
Something
Other
forward
than
to.
that, I don't think there's really anything going on, at least
Yeah.
in the immediate future.
Turkey Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yep,
see
for-
everyone next week.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
See you next
Happy
week,
holidays.
everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.